have learned to just shut up. No, it's just like he's like, look at him. Just look at him. Why does it grind your gears? All right, let's go.
If you are thinking about working with your spouse, I think there's 3 phases. The first is you're thinking it's going way better than it's really going. It's like the honeymoon phase. And then it's like becomes impossibly hard, and that's when most people just call it quits. But if you can press on and work on communication, role clarity, and trust, I think those are some of the big factors. Then you can get to the third phase, which is, this is amazing. Like, I'm spending a lot of my time on earth at work and away from my family. But when you work with your spouse, we're getting to spend so much of our time together, and the business has really become our family.
Yeah.
So I think that being persistent in that is super important, and then role clarity.
Yeah.
If everybody's doing everything, no one's in charge of anything. And so we organize our world with 3 circles. There's the things that Allie autonomously does, the things that Jeff autonomously does, and then an intersecting circle that neither one of us can make the call until we run it by the other. And that was advice from one of our mentors. If you don't have role clarity, you're going to constantly feel like you either have no power or all the power, and then that's going to make your business partner pretty upset.
That was
I
good.
think that's pretty accurate about
Yeah.
us. I think we went through each one of those phases. When we first joined forces, we're like, this is a great idea. I can do this, and you can do this, and we're ta-la-la-la-la. And then when it is serious time for us to work, you had your way of doing things, and I had your way of doing it, and it was very hard. And that's where I would say is the first time I actually ever felt being burnt out. And then now I think we've recovered in a way. We've paused and been able to define what we're strong at, what we excel at, and then they now both complement each other in a way that we can now do this and running in our own lanes together.
Yeah.
Teamwork.
First of all, I never thought it would be easy and was excited to be like, we're gonna kill this together to begin with. I never had that like, whoa, this is so cool.
Did you feel like you didn't know, what did you think it was gonna be like?
I had no expectations. Yeah, because I didn't know. So I never had expectations. But at the same time, I know you're a smart cookie and you bring a lot of value.
I am a smart cookie.
Yeah. So, and then the first 6 months was tough. It was tough. However, after that, it became better. I don't think we're at a phase. I'm really excited for this year because I feel like this is the 3rd phase we're heading into. We literally just finished our role clarity in the last month or so, defining that. Right? Now that we actually have the time to define it, now I'm really excited for 2024.
Complementary skills and making a business relationship work.
Bhakti and I have been married for 11 years. We've been business partners for 13 years. And I always say this, that don't make your spouse your business partner just because they're your spouse. You got to make sure that your spouse and you have complementary skills to contribute to the business.
Ooh, I like that.
In our case, she manages the operations and finance. I manage the marketing and sales.
Why is it always the guy and the girl? Like that almost grinds my gears. Okay, can continue.
Why does it grind your gears?
Because I would love that a woman doesn't have to be in those buckets.
Sure, you can do marketing and sales.
I don't care about marketing and sales.
Coming together and providing what's required to grow the business. And when we are communicating with each other, we are always clear who is communicating. Is it the husband communicating to the wife, or is the business partner communicating to a fellow business partner? I think that switch is very, very important. That awareness is very, very important. And that's what makes the marriage work and the business partnership work.
That's good. I'm learning.
Yeah, I think complementary skill set is a very important must-have when you're looking to find a business partner, especially one that you have a personal relationship with, because like what he said, you don't want to just hire them just because you have a personal relationship. What is it that they can contribute? Outside of the person and the name, what is the skill set that they're contributing?
Yeah.
And also like that conversation between husband and wife that happens. We have, sometimes it gets blurry.
Yeah.
Like I'll, maybe be a bit more spicy one day.
Where are the turtles? Where are they?
But that's because I'm talking to my husband when I should really be talking to my partner.
You know what? That's what I'm going to ask you next time. I'm like, are you talking to me as my wife or as my business partner?
How did the complementary skills relate to your own skill sets you bring to the company?
I think it's spot on. Spot on. Like my role is more marketing, more BD, more outward facing, and that's where I personally excel at.
And then once that client or relationship is kind of locked in, he passes the baton to me, and then I bring everything to life when it comes to what they had agreed upon. That could be the operations, that could be getting the team, resources, finances, and then delivering it with the utmost quality.
The second tip that we wanted to give you guys is learn to communicate. This is
very important.
Huge. This should be like the top of your list of things. The only takeaway that you have is learn to communicate. One of the biggest parts of this is wording. Wording is everything. It is everything.
To give you an example, Christy is our main storyteller and editor for our company, and so whenever she's done with an edit, she puts her whole heart and soul into it. She's super proud of it. Then she brings it to me, shows it to me, and as I'm watching it, I'm like, okay, this is amazing. But then I'm looking for those 4 things that I'm super critical about, and if I'm not careful,
4 things. Hold on.
Okay, whatever. But if I'm not careful with how I word things, it can cripple her for the rest of the day. So if I'm like, hey, here's the things that need to improve without even addressing the positives or giving her encouragement, it can really affect her. What I usually do is I make sure that I'm always starting with positive encouragement and that I'm empowering her as an editor so that when I do provide some constructive criticism.
You know what? I don't know why. Like, the funny thing is, I can see where the edits are. So my thought is just going, I wonder what happened that they had to cut it out.
Some of those are my edits.
Okay.
And she'll be more accepting of it, and it'll make our films better, make our relationship better as well.
And it won't ruin my day.
Yes.
What
Choosing my words carefully
is important?
right now. As in, I agree with her 100%. Like choosing your words carefully so it lands properly, so then the other person can receive it is really important. Now, on the other hand, as working in a business environment, sometimes you just need to just
be able to confidently give that feedback
and just lay
instead of having to like cushion it with, you know. Well, having said that, I understand. How do you deliver the right feedback in the right way so that it lands? But it just feels like for them,
the guys always walking on eggshell. I feel for him. I feel for you. It's not your fault.
Why?
No, it's just like he's like, look at him. Just look at him.
Yeah, fair.
Yeah, right? Like, I'm like, whoa, that's kind of scary. But at the same time, I feel like as business partners, we should be objective enough and confident enough with each other's ability to take in constructive criticism, that you don't take it personal. Otherwise, how can you grow a business together? Now it's a relationship that you're building or like, you know, growing together. That's like, I think, completely different.
Do whatever you can do to avoid talking about business outside of the business hours, right? So if you're going on a date night, we actually made it a rule. There's no talking about business on date nights. Even when we were excited about the business, we still avoided talking about business.
It was so, I think I bought some cards at one point. We printed out stuff off the internet. But at one point, it was so foreign to not talk about it that we had to actually do research and look up ways and questions we could ask each other, because sometimes we just didn't have anything else that we were excited about, like other than that.
For sure, we need to talk about business outside of work because, quite frankly, we just don't have the time.
And also, this is an unpopular opinion, but I don't think it's as balanced as when you leave the office door that conversation ends. It's about choosing the right time to talk about it, because sometimes, for example, we work with global teams. We may have to have a call at 10 o'clock, but it doesn't mean that when we are needing to be with our family, with our kids, that we don't appreciate that time, and we definitely don't talk about work. But more importantly is, if you want to talk about work or if I want to talk about work, we're able to say no. No. And protect the time. Like, you need to both of you need to be in the same mindset in when that conversation happens.
And actually, I've learned to not take your no as something personal, Because when she says no to me, I feel like rejected. I'm like, oh my gosh, she doesn't want to talk to me about business. But sometimes she just needs her space and her time to recover and recharge. And I need to be able to respect that. And to your point about, protecting family time, we're both super aligned on those are the times that we don't talk about business because we gotta be 100% present. We choose to be.
So get comfortable saying no. I say no so easily now. Literally before your sentence comes up. Nope. Don't want to hear it.
No.
We both have different ways of doing things,
We
right?
have completely different styles in business, I guess.
And different personality types.
Yep.
And what was it? His needs or her needs or love and respect?
One of those talks about lenses and literally if you were to take a guy's brain and a girl's brain, it's like they see the world completely through two different, girls get pink lenses and guys get blue lenses and the whole world looks different filtered through those.
Let's go back to when I was working for you, your Etsy handmade business. You had your farm signs and I was working for you doing a whole bunch of crap. But it was interesting because you had explained to me in your very type A, driven, clear personality type how you want something done. And you were confused, let's just say, at the length of time it was taking for me to pick up on something, right?
It's a very nice way of saying it.
Yeah, and I was like, hey, hero, it took me 3 or 4 times for you to show me something. You're like, if you don't get it on the first time, I'm done with you. I don't need you.
My personality, I'm just a fast-moving person. I'm not saying it's the best, but it's just I want something done and I want it done yesterday, and I expect people to just figure it out, and it's not always the best. I'm not saying that's good, and I'm learning, but you don't work that way.
One thing that I think really helps relationships stay together is the fact that you both stay humble, you both are life learners, and you both have a philosophy of, hey, I don't know it all.
I like the guy. That's awesome.
What?
What he was saying, life learners, be humble, and you just don't know it all.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was really good.
Yeah, I think that's applicable. It's like I'm learning from you, you're learning from me. We have different skill sets. Let's try to listen in your own zone of genius.
Actually, to that point, I've been in business for the last 10 plus years, and having Cass join me, there's just a different way of doing things. And for me, in a way, I felt like, it always worked. So therefore, why do I have to change? And when I see how you work, when I see the effect of it, I want to be better. And it's a constant challenge internally, fighting from my ego to the desire to want to learn more.
You should listen to that guy. Be humble, listen, and put your ego at the door.
I have.
I know, just saying.
Yeah, I learned a lot from you.
Thank you. I learned a lot from you.
Do you guys find, as a man and a woman, do you guys find times where you do fundamentally see things through different lenses?
100%.
Always.
It's like black and white. I think one thing is, for example, for me, I would be a lot more softer in my words. And for him, he's very direct. And I learned that if I need to be clear in what I'm asking for, I just have to ask for it in less than 6 words. Just get it done. Otherwise, he's just not going to understand it. He's just going to be like, are you trying to say this? Are you trying to say, what are you doing? And literally I have to go like, I need this for this. And then he'll be, oh, but for me, for girls, I would say most commonly is that you're so used to, how do you land this in the nice way, or not be so direct because it may feel harsh, but guys are just more need that direct communication.
Be clear.
Yeah, I know.
And Wilson, what about you?
She's just a girl. No, just joking. No, the thing is, I really respect her, and oftentimes I would want to pause and see what point is she trying to really make, even though it's not really the way I think. Because I know that I have been working in a very contained environment for my last decade, and where she's really exposed to other workplaces, talent across the board. And so, yeah, I have learned to just shut up. Not shut up to just receive what she's landing on me. I think there's a big distinguishment. It's to shut up and think and process and digest. And then you can come back with whether or not you agree with what she's saying and what you can take away from that, and to better process your thoughts and your thesis and your opinion. And I think that is a really important skill set. Yeah, is to just shut up and digest. Cool.
Awesome. Thank you guys.
Thank you.
Awesome. Good job.